I could not be like more dialed in.
It's exciting times right now.
It really is. Like if you don't have like if you're a sports fan, you don't have something to talk about now. Like you literally just don't have anything to talk about.
And you're not really a sports fan. If you don't have nothing to talk about right now, you're not a sports fan.
So it's been a stickler. This is actually. Oops, sorry about that. This is
You
actually
good?
why I started a podcast was because of like if you don't enjoy sports like right now, you just don't like sports. Like I've
Right.
said, like I've had a theory for years that like most of the sports quote unquote fans right now I actually don't like sports.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, if you don't enjoy
Right.
watching the NBA right
I'm
now,
with you.
like you don't like the NBA. Like
I'm
you
with you.
cannot like you can scrutinize it or you can critique it. But if you just say like it's bad, like there's so many good players. There's so many. Same with the NFL or
Yeah.
whatever. Like I understand the downsides, but like if you just say it's bad, like I don't know what to tell you. Like
Like I got friends that say, "Oh, I don't watch the NBA. I used to watch, but I don't watch anymore." And I'm like, if you used to watch, how do you not watch anymore?
I thank you.
And
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
There's
Then
so
they tell
many.
me about, oh, it was super teams and da da da, and I would just be like,
There ain't ever
okay,
really been a super team. Like there had like they've tried, but there really hasn't been one. Like the Brooklyn Nets failed. The Miami Heat did all
I
right,
mean,
but looking back,
there's been regular
there's
season all star
there's been
teams. That's what I call them.
okay. I like that. I like that. But there's been attempts. But if you really look back at it, if we rate, I know this is a whole show for us, but if you rate Chris Bosh seriously, that was not a super team. That was a good team with LeBron at the height of his powers. Like how many people could have done what Chris Bosh did for the quote unquote super team? I think there was a lot of players that good, right?
I'm like this. I Me and Chris Bosh.
Okay, I like that.
I never really thought he was what people were saying he was.
No, and I don't think he did.
He was an all-star for Toronto that really wasn't doing much.
That was a weird time to where like if you were just the best player on a bad team, you were an all-star.
Yep. And he had the benefit of that. Now,
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade is the real deal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
But
now,
Dwayne
you
Wade
know what?
wasn't.
I'm not going to get stuck on the Miami Heat, quote unquote, super team because others, as you said, were constructed and failed.
Yeah.
And the whole I need an all. You know what? You know what? I gotta cut this because, bruh, I can go on
I
for
know.
an entire
You're right.
show on that by
We'll have
itself,
time to do it
and we'll have time.
as the season slows down. We'll talk about this because I can't
Yeah,
wait.
and I don't want to piss off fans of certain players
Oh
like
my goodness.
early
Oh my
in the
goodness.
show. I'm gonna do that later when we get a bit more folk. I don't want to piss them all off early, but in the meantime and in between time, family, put your seatbelts on as we started off like this. Yeah,
Woo.
yeah. It's like, yo, I'm in the car at night with good night vision.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
And,
when I
and,
used to be
and
able to
just
drive at
rolling,
night.
man. Yeah. Back in the day.
You're right. There's a certain amount of like, kind of like driving on the like highway, just enough light to see where you're going, but nobody's there. Like I used to driving home late, but like when everybody else isn't driving home late, like a
Right.
weird like
Right.
Tuesday night driving home late, the lights are
Right.
just right, the music's just right, and you're like, I feel like I grew up in Miami Vice. Like I feel like Crockett and Tubbs right now,
Yeah,
just
there you
like
go. That's a
just like
Crockett and Tubbs vibe.
the Crockett and Tubbs situation.
If you have a car with a top down, this is the time you put the top down, or you open up
Dude,
your sun or your moon roof,
dude,
and you
so I
crank
gotta,
it up just a little bit, and you just kind of
yep.
slow go, or you speed. You're a little bit faster than normal, but you're grooving.
So so
I
around
love
here,
the
like
music like that.
I got a Jeep. I got a Jeep Wrangler. Never has the top on, and it's like
Nice.
coming home on that perfect summer night. The air is the same temperature as like your body. Like you
Yep.
settle in. The perfect
You know
song
what I'm
comes
talking
on.
about.
Nobody's around, and it's like the moon is real bright, and I'm just like, this is it. Like the next 5 minutes, like I own this.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
just a random like Kid Cudi song comes on and you're like, I forgot how much I like this. Like I forgot how much I like
Okay.
this. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
there's songs that like you always know how much you liked, but then there's
Yes. And
songs that you
then,
forget how much you
yep.
like.
And then it comes on in that right moment, and you're like,
Yep.
oh,
You're like,
and all the words come back to you. Like
that's
you ain't
right.
saying this song in like
Like
7 years, and all of a
this
sudden
hits.
all the words come flooding back, the ad libs and everything,
Yeah.
bruh,
You're like, this
bruh.
hits so hard. And then
Yes.
and they're like, you're in the like you're in like the 10% of the people who feel that way. And everybody looking at you is like, it's all right. And you're like,
Right.
what? Like you don't like it takes you to a moment, a time,
Yep. Yep.
memory, or whatever. And you're like,
Yep.
oh no. Like just stand back. Just
Right.
stand
Like,
back.
listen, you don't understand.
Nope.
This is the song. Shut up.
Yes. The you don't understand song. We need to make a you don't understand playlist.
Understand song list. Oh my God.
I do
Yes.
it like on it
Agreed.
like, and I know that like I'm not the only one, but like every time like I hear Rakim, I'm like, oh, that's right, I forgot. Like I talked about this the other week. I'm like, you'll hear a lot of songs, and you'll hear a certain song, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like I've been comparing this to this to this,
Right. Like,
and then
oh.
then you're like,
Oh.
oh shit,
Oh.
like
Oh, I forgot
yeah.
he said that. Mm.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. And it's same with
Yep.
sports. Like essentially, originally, this is kind of a sports show. You'll do the same thing. You'll be like, yeah, this and this, and you'll watch some highlights of like a great team. Like you'll watch like the 2001 or 2002 or 2001 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like watch that Super Bowl, and you're like, oh, I forgot Derek Brooks. Like I just forgot
Hmm.
about Derek Brooks being
Or
that
like the
dude.
America's Game documentary or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
And you're
Like,
like,
oh, I
oh
forgot that
yeah.
dude was different.
Wow. I
Steve
forgot that
McNair's one
dude
of
was
those.
like
Like,
that.
oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah. Oh,
forgot
God
about Steve
rest.
McNair was a
Yep.
dog.
Yep.
Remember back when you could hit quarterback? Steve McNair was as tough as they came. Tough as they
Bruh.
came.
Bruh. You know,
We got
if
sidetracked.
he
Did we get sidetracked minute one?
little
I
bit,
think we got
but that's
sidetracked
fine.
minute one. It's all right.
Quick, just to kind of bring us back to
Okay.
something
All right.
real
All right.
fast.
I'm back.
Just,
I'm back. I'm back. I got to reel it in.
I just want to give a quick,
This is an
rest in
interesting
peace,
one.
Bobby
This is
Knight.
interesting.
All right, enough of that because he was a wild dude, but
Yeah. A complicated. We both grew up with it.
complicated cat.
Complicated cat. So here's what I want to say. I got to say one thing
He
about
has,
this, and this is
he
not.
has some ways about him, but
I
God rest.
promise I'm not about to insult, Bobby Knight or anything like that. Like we were born within an hour and a half of each other in Ohio. Like we're from the same
There you
cut,
go.
sort of. But all I want to say is like for all the positives Bobby Knight did, and then all the negatives, the argument, and this is going to come up later in the show. I like how we're going to tie this in. Is like all the positives and all the negatives. Everybody's like, Bobby Knight was a classic. The ends justified the means situation. And I just want to say that, like, I think you can have the same ends without all the means. Like, I do
Fair.
believe that I don't, and this is actually a compliment to Bobby Knight. I do believe that he could have achieved everything that he achieved without some of the stuff that that brought him
That went
down,
on.
his
Right.
reputation and everything. I do believe that you didn't have, I don't think it took one to have the other. Like, I do believe that a coach can still be that type of coach, but also, now that we know more about players and young people and mental awareness and all these things, like, I do believe that you can do both. Like, I think you can be a
Right.
field general and hug a kid rather than other means. That's all I'm going to
But
say
at
about
the
that.
same
That's
time,
all I
it's
thought
like
about today.
I only go back to because he's an older cat.
Yeah.
So the environment in which he was raised
I totally agree.
had they that was the environment that had no clue about mental awareness and things
None.
like that.
None.
And they were the first ones to say you didn't work hard, call you a dummy, all of this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So he kind of grew up with that. And
100%.
during the early informative coaching years, the culture was
Yeah.
kind of still like that.
Yeah.
And
But I
as a
would
matter of
say
fact,
that,
if you didn't go that route, you were kind of cold like a soft coach, things like
yeah.
that. I do feel like later on you can evolve, sure.
But imagine, like, also a lot of these coaches coached in a time to where kids, and I say kids because
But
college
they were
coaches coach kids,
kids.
especially then,
Hmm.
like, that those kids also didn't have a choice. Like, Larry Bird almost quit basketball after going to Indiana, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fair.
what I'm saying is, like, nowadays, like, a kid would just be like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Duke, or I'm going to go to
It was
North
just
Carolina. I'm
transfer.
going to,"
Right.
like, and everybody says that as a negative, but I'm like, here's what. Okay, this is where it's going to get negative. I'm sorry. I just. But
Go
here's
ahead,
what
do
we
your
don't
thing.
know. Here's what we don't know. How many kids never played basketball again that we never heard of because of the time that this happened in the 70s and 80s? Like, how many kids quit Indiana because of the, I'll just say, because of the environment. I won't even say Coach Knight, like, trying to be
Right.
nice here.
But then you can say
How
that
many kids do
about
we know
all
that
kinds of programs too.
totally agree? But I'm saying, like, I'm just saying, as today, when everybody's like, that's how you did it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but we don't know how many kids, like, maybe dropped out of school or never went back because they're like, oh, I don't want, I can't thrive in that environment, as to where, like, we don't know that they couldn't thrive in a basketball environment. They just maybe chose the wrong path. I'm just saying, like, there's two sides to every story. Just like Bobby Knight says,
Fair.
he was the first one to tell you there's two sides to every story. There's also two sides to every story. Like, you, like John Wooden, floor general, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
quite have the reputation. Krzyzewski, one of the toughest men out there, but kind of got the other side of it also. So, like, I'm saying, there are, I think, uh for the Spurs, shoot, I lost his,
Popovich.
Popovich. I think that's a great example of, like, that is a stern, you know,
Yeah,
no
but
shit
again,
basketball
Pop
coach.
even
But I
kind of
think,
came after Bobby Knight. Like you learn from the example, so of course
and
you
that's fair
know
too.
certain
That's
things
fair
not
too.
to
Oh, no,
repeat.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to say Bobby Knight could have changed, but I just want to tell, like, people out there who want to coach and stuff, like, you can respect that type of coaching and type of person and also evolve.
Right. That's
We're
but
saying the
again,
same thing. I got a sidetrack.
evolution.
I apologize.
Nah, we good. Evolution is a funny thing because evolution seems to come from a couple of different places, and like, and I don't mean to devolve, but like certain things I see sometimes, like today, I don't necessarily agree or ride with, but I know that it is the quote unquote time. So there's an automatic pass kind of given to certain things. But if we call in a spade, not everything needs to quote unquote evolve. Some things kind of should stay a
That's fair.
little bit more
That's fair.
foundational just saying, and I try not to be the old man on the lawn type vibe at all, but sometimes I just feel
Well, you
like
need a certain amount of it. You need a certain amount of it.
you
And
tend to sometimes go too far in trying to evolve,
yeah,
and then you miss the point of what the whole thing was in the first place, trying to
fair.
change it.
That's fair. I think that's totally fair.
So that's just my thing on that. But at the end of the day, as we walk into foosball week 9, there's some things have happened and some things need to evolve. And even though this happened,
Oh, jeez.
yes, breaking news, that dude done got fired. It lit
That's
his
a
face. He knew it
shocker.
was coming. That's the I knew it was coming face.
He literally
Right
looks
there.
like somebody that was going to get fired.
Yep.
Did you
Like, and
did
I don't even, this might even been the first game of the season.
did you see the latest stat? The Raiders are paying him and Gruden a combined $80 million to not coach for them.
Yes, yes, and there was a he took over the team. Mark, that is, took over the team in 11, and there was a plethora of coaching hires and fires between 11 and now. In like 11, 12 years, he's managed to do absolutely nothing
Yep.
and blow it. And I'm like this. If I may, Josh McDaniels. Hold on, well, give me a sec.
Okay, I like it.
Josh McDaniels, Ben Sup. That dude is a highly intelligent ignoramus. What the hell was Tim Tebow? Like we can't forget these platinum hits that
Bro,
dude
you don't want to
dropped.
get me started on Tim Tebow.
I mean, but there should have never been a Tim Tebow, and the only
Nope.
reason why there was one was because of Josh McDaniels.
And because of Tom Brady. Like Josh McDaniels doesn't
Okay,
exist without Tom Brady.
right. And the thing is, it was Belichick and Tom. Period.
Yep.
And Josh sat back and got accolades that were undue,
Yep.
and thought he could out Belichick on the offense and defense, actually. Because I do remember an anecdote that came out maybe even last year. I don't remember the podcast, but it was players who played for McDaniels, and they talked about how the first 2 or 3 games he scripted everything and they were all in the right place and all of that, and they thought he was a genius till they found out he was taping film on practices.
Right?
And the
Which may
minute
come
he
up
got
later in the
found
show.
out, fair, and when he got found out and couldn't do it no more, all of a sudden his genius went out the window.
Yeah.
Mark Davis. This is all Mark Davis's fault.
Is it on Mark Davis or his barber?
Yep. Oh God. Yo,
Bro.
his barber is okay. Okay, do y'all remember the original Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman, with the orange hair?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Mark Davis' barber. The dude who did his hair back then is Mark Davis' barber today, and they're probably the same age. They probably went to school together.
You're right.
I mean, yeah,
Probably
because
went to school together.
yep, you was Archie in 3rd grade. Yep. Now I'm cutting your hair, and if you fire me, you got to pay me $6 million for the next 8 years, because you're an
Oh.
idiot.
But their team
listen,
is the most valuable team in the NFL.
and that's the biggest problem because number one, he
is.
will never sell it, even though he needs to relinquish ownership. Maybe not ownership, but rights Doesn't he
Yeah.
have a daughter or a son or somebody smart or a sister or somebody who could take the reins away from this
So
dude? Because
here's the
listen,
thing about dudes like this. They grew up in a world to where they always thought they were out kicking their coverage, but it was never genuine.
right,
So like in his mind, he's like, this is the level like of person I mate with, but it never was. So
right.
like, yeah, you know what
I
I mean?
got my
Like,
daddy's jeans. No, you got your daddy's pants.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You don't have
exactly.
his
So
jeans. You have his pants.
yeah, like we over. This is a problem across America. We give way too much credit to rich people. Like, no, you can accidentally be rich. Like Mark Davis is accidentally rich.
Right.
Like
He's rich because his
he had
daddy did
zero
it.
he had zero to do with the Raiders, bringing them up, any of the things that made got them to where they are. And then now he's like, yeah, this is my team. Like it is like it's like I
Laughable.
promise you, like if me, you, and him sat in a room, he is not the smartest football guy in the room. Like I promise you
No,
that,
not at
because
all.
two of us wouldn't have hired McDaniels to coach their team.
I am in agreement. Like,
But he's got the money. He's like,
dude,
but I got a private jet. Like I don't care.
this is why I call him an ignoramus. This is
Yep.
simply why. Last season, after whatever happened with Gruden and that mistake, and knowing that you were going to have to pay him because you were going to fire him because the press was awful and you couldn't keep him, and y'all was losing and he wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And they
all right,
haven't. They just like they've been so
but
bad.
wait, but were they? And here's my caveat. His name was, I believe, Rich Samini. He was their interim head coach.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Great dude. Great dude. I think he's working right now. Yeah.
And he was the special teams coordinator that became the interim head coach and had Derek Carr and them clicking
Yep.
at the end of that season. And I believe they won either 4 or 5 games.
Yep. Yep.
And what happens the following season? He is fired. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just Davis just being like, I need something to do.
I need a name. I need
I
pizzazz. I
I
need
need.
pop.
Yep.
No, you need wins, bro. And this dude showed that he got these guys clicking. And you got, hold on. Derek Carr made a phone call to one of his friends from college. Derek Carr did not think in anywhere in the back of his mind that he would be fired that year. He brought Devontae Adams in,
Yeah.
thinking, all right, Rich Samini had us clicking. We just need that one piece. You're
Yep.
that one piece. Let's go. And he probably sold him on that. Then he comes, new head coach. Next thing you know, somehow, some way, Derek Carr is now blamed for everything, and now everybody's thinking, "Oh, Derek Carr is trash." Yada yada yada. He's not necessarily trash with the Saints. They're expecting him to be, but they're winning games. Interesting.
And Carr was in a better situation there.
Yes,
Like
he
I'm
was in a
agreeing
better.
with like but here's the thing. This is the pattern with the Raiders. Did we watch them do this? What almost 20 years ago with Randy Moss? They're like,
Yep,
all we need is Randy Moss.
wasting,
Randy
wasting.
Moss got there and was like, "This is a dumpster fire."
Yep, straight up.
Like
He
he
was like,
literally
"Oh,
quit.
oh
Remember
God,
that? He literally
Minnesota was
quit.
better than this." Yeah,
He's like,
you know what?
I
I'm
am
done.
out. Like
Just
Devontae
crazy.
Adams right now, like is already like this is This is
He's
terrible.
going the route of Randy Moss. He has gotten
Yep.
there.
And I
He was
kind of
sold a
don't
bag of
blame him.
goods.
Yep.
No, there's little dude. You are trucking out an untested rookie quarterback.
Ooh.
Why?
And Devontae Adams knows
And
he's got 2.5 years left of being great.
you're
Of being
benching
great.
Garoppolo because of now. Here's what doesn't make sense to me. You're benching Garoppolo because he struggled under McDaniel's system, but you fire McDaniel's, but you still don't you don't give Garoppolo an opportunity.
Yeah,
And
it's
and
they're probably in a bad a position as you can be in an NFL franchise because they're not bad enough to like rebuild, but they absolutely have no shot at making the playoffs or any.
or making any noise whatsoever.
They're just an expensive 6-11 team. That is the
Yep.
worst spot to be in the NFL.
And then they put it on my poor guy here, man. And look, Antonio Pierce, man. I good
Yo,
luck, brother.
that's our guy.
Good luck, man. Like I'm afraid that you're going to be the new Rich Samini.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be. Yeah, I'm glad he's getting the shot, and I'm glad he's there, and I'm glad like everything he said today. I love the guy. I love to watching him play football.
Mm-hmm.
Totally like this is awesome, but like you're just set up to fail, and
Exactly.
it's terrible. But
Exactly.
I'm just glad to know that he's coaching. Man, I love watching that guy play football. What a great football player.
Agreed. Agreed.
I'm a huge Antonio. When I heard that today, it made me so happy because I'm a huge Antonio Pierce,
Oh
like
yeah, it
as a
made me
person
happy,
fan.
but then it made me sad because I know he's gonna be fired
Well,
in like
that's
six
true.
months.
That's true. But you know what? The other side of it is not getting your shots. I don't think that's better.
But
Like
that's fair.
him assistant coaching behind a joke in McDaniel's for
Yeah.
another, we'll say even 2 seasons is a disservice to Antonio Pierce. You know,
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Antonio Pierce wanted to shove Josh McDaniels into in a trash can. Like, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
he did. And yes. So
So
he's
shout
glad
out to
that
Antonio
his
Pierce. I hope you
bosses actually
win.
did that.
I hope you win the next three. I hope you win your next 3 or 4 games. Or I seriously, I want Antonio
Well,
Pierce to
after
succeed.
this week, I hope you win your
I
next
can't
three
think
or
of a
four
better
games
person to be a Raiders head coach than
because
Antonio Pierce. I want him wearing the full get. I want
you're
him. I want
playing
him.
us this
I want him
week,
looking like the
Jeff.
like a member of NWA as he brought it up on the
Wow.
sidelines.
I am Siren.
He brought it up. He brought it up. I didn't.
Fair.
He grew up
Fair.
a Raiders fan, grew up an NWA fan, like the whole get up. Like I listened to his interview today. I want him to walk out there like it's 1986 and he's bringing it back, and I want him to win. Big fan.
Right on. All right. Hey, Jeff.
Okay,
Uh, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
let's do this.
You ready to kick something down the steps when we come back?
I am.
Okay, goody, goody, goody. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this, and Jeff's gonna kick something down some steps. 50% of American families don't get enough of their hardcore hip hop. That's why I'm glad my family likes the taste of Wu Tang. It's for the children.
Woo!
I changed all my passwords to Kenny. So now I have all Kenny logins. Aha! Dad jokes.
Kenny Loggins is my guy. Like Kenny
Yes.
Loggins is my guy.
Now, before you actually kick these down the steps,
All right, all right.
I got a little something for you, man. Ooh, kick him down the steps. Professor Jeff kicks him down the steps. Ooh, down the steps. Professor Jeff kicks him down the steps. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm as happy as somebody can be right now. Thank you so much for doing that. I swear, people watching this have no idea. Like, this is not like, I don't want anybody to think that we spent 12 hours this week working on this. This is natural. And I mean as a compliment. This is natural.
Yes.
Anyway,
this is what we do.
This week on Kick 'em Down the Steps, it's not a single person just like last week. It's a group of people. So everybody knows I'm a giant college football fan. And if you can't tell, also a huge Ohio State fan. So all this stuff comes combined. Yes. So the biggest story in college football this week is the Michigan, sideline spy, Connor Stallions, investigation, so to will, alleged investigation. Right. So here's the thing. Here's who I'm kicking down the steps this week.
Part 2.
There you go. It's all the everybody does it crowd. Okay. So like all I hear is when they're like, you bring out all this evidence. Like we see this guy, we have pictures of this guy. He bought tickets for this. Like this dude bought tickets for the same spot on each sideline of the Ohio State Penn State game. Now let me tell anybody that doesn't know, I live in Ohio State country. I go to Ohio State games. I can't afford the ticket that this man bought for each side of the sideline for one person at $1,200-$1,300 a pop or whatever. So right. Like, this isn't just like, oh, I'm going to go enjoy a game, right? So like all that happens. And then, all the evidence, all the Central Michigan stuff. And then people are like, well, everybody does it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. There's 132 teams eligible for the college football national championship each year.
Right. Each year.
Right? Right now, only one is being investigated for like filming signs and stealing signs on the sideline. But like when it happens, and a lot of it's because it happened to Ohio State, and Ohio State is, nobody's going to admit, they're the biggest machine on the block. They're the Titan, they're everything. They are Goliath. Like I admit that. Right. I admit it. But what I'm saying is like, if your argument is like, oh, everybody does it, well, then why aren't, I don't know, 75 teams being investigated for it? It's just one. Like maybe everybody doesn't do it. Like, Coach, you played, sports your whole life, or you competed. You don't have to be sports. You can be playing cards. You can be playing whatever. Like when I'm playing cards, honestly, if someone getting a little tipsy, it's getting a little late, and they start leaning forward, and I can almost start seeing their cards, we all just like, hey man, pull them back. Like I want to win fair and square. Right. Like I don't know why we assume that because like the nature of the beast and the money that's involved, that people don't want to win fair and square. Right. Yeah, that like no, I don't think everybody's doing it. And if that's your excuse, then like maybe you're not a competitor. Maybe like you're not not an athlete or whatever. But like I'm sorry, but that's not the truth. Like some people just cheat. Like you brought it up earlier. You brought it up earlier with the Patriots. Like that's weird that the Patriots are the only team that ever got caught sneaking in and filming signals. It's weird that Michigan's the only team being investigated for it with all the evidence, piles and piles and piles of evidence. And then another thing, like I listen all year, and you're an NBA fan. I'm whatever. Like we hear how many times do we hear like one bad penalty or one offensive holding or one pass interference cost the team an entire Super Bowl or championship or season. Right. Everybody believes that, but you don't believe that a team having the signs of the other team that affects every play of the game can have an advantage.
Actually, that's what I was gonna jump in on yours, because I want to kick down, and no offense, Prime or anybody like that, but I want to kick down the steps those who said you still got to play us.
Oh,
if you know everything that we're going to do, whether we play you or not, it's going to be the same result. I'm whooping your ass because I know exactly what you want to do every time you want to do it. because I recorded everything about you.
Yep. Imagine knowing somebody's hand is in poker and being like, well, you still had to play the hand. Well, it sure was a lot easier.
Dude, you got aces, and now I know that. And an ace just came on the flop. I'm not winning this hand with my 8-9. You still want me to just try to beat you anyway? Are you stupid? Come on.
Now we're saying it like I love it. I kicked somebody down the steps and Thawed jumped on him. Give me whatever your favorite WWE star is, elbow slam, whatever. It's ridiculous. Like I don't know why we have to assume. Here's what I would say. My final thought on this: if you believe that, like everybody's doing it, or everybody all this, or the refs, call a holding in the second quarter because they know they're trying to determine out, then I don't really know. I don't know why you're watching our show, and B, I don't know why you watch sports. I can't stand it. It's
all
rigged.
Levels, bro.
We'll kick down the it's rigged crowd a different day, but like if you think it's rigged, like I literally don't know why you watch sports, or how you watch sports, or if you've ever like competed. I don't even say sports because you can not be athletic and still compete. You know what I mean? Like if we're playing checkers, and right before my move, or chess is a better one. Right before my move, a guy whispers in my ear, "Here's what he's going to do next." Well, it sure is an advantage.
Very much so. I tell you, if you move the queen, I know he's gonna do this. If you move your knight, I know he's gonna do this.
Sure helps, right?
It helps out wonderfully, as a matter of fact.
I'm glad you piled on there. I'm glad you piled on there because you captured you still have to play the game crowd.
There is a movie called What Happens in Vegas.
I'm so excited right now.
No. There's just a scene at the end of this movie. What Happens in Vegas with Cameron Diaz and
Cameron Diaz, Ashton Kutcher.
The end of that movie, the two best friends go ring the doorbell of the ex-boyfriend who humiliated her. She rings the doorbell. He's kneeling on the ground and punches dude in the nuts as soon as he opens the door. And she goes, "You know why?" And he backs him up. "You know why? I'm that dude for you." There you go. You know why. You done mess with Jeff. You know why.
I'm just like I can't like I would just say this. Like everybody's like, well, it didn't matter. Well, this was a big thing with the Patriots. Well, then why'd they do it? Like why'd you do it if it didn't matter?
Exactly.
And I don't know, and that's maybe me because like I've never been a win by any way possible kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't, whether it was like
there's rules to this stuff.
Yeah, like if we're playing pickup basketball and like I realize that you twisted your ankle, like I'm not saying like we won't compete, but like I chalk that up as like you did your best, but like I didn't get you at 100%. You know what I mean? Like
I am not that's a foul, dude, at all. When we're playing pickup.
I literally said the same thing. So, coach, I promise this is a true story. Somebody went, well, everybody does it, and I said. I looked right at him and I said, "You're probably the same type of person that calls a foul in a one-on-one game." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I said that. We're on the
and
same.
And that's an insult, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't supposed to be doing that.
Absolutely.
Cut that crap out if you are. Don't get offended. Yeah. Stop doing it.
Yeah, shame absolute insult.
Calling a foul in a pickup game. You ain't get paid for this. Ain't no time clock.
I'm a call your own fouls kind of guy. I'm a call your own fouls kind of guy because
dude,
I tell you, if
I call hit me, come on.
Yep. I'm like, nah, it's all right. Yeah.
And if you did hit me funny, I'm gonna stare at you until you be like, all right, ball up. Oh, we ain't put the game. I don't have to call it, but the game ain't going any further.
But now,
you know what you did. All right.
Yep. And you'll always know. Like, I would always know if I cheated. So I'm like, if I never cheat, my dad didn't install a lot in me, but it was the one thing. Like if you never cheat, you don't have to worry about that. Oh, let's talk about some NBA. I'm so excited
Speaking
right
of
now.
cheating,
Uh-oh.
speaking of cheating,
This is a mess. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. I knew you would bring it up, so I didn't even text you to bring it up.
you know me
What do
too
we?
well.
What's the?
Hold on,
We can.
check this out.
Okay. Okay.
Check this out.
I don't think when I'm in elite.
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see from the circle, things.
I'm not man just shooting the basketball every time. I'm like I think the game and I'm a creator on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a voice to where I can, hey coach, I see this. You know what you think about this? Then it's like, oh, okay. Like somebody that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not a, you know, I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So somebody that can have that dialogue with me and understand and move forward and figure out and make adjustments on the fly throughout the course of games. That's all I really care about. You know, I mean, it's not about me scoring the basketball, scoring 34 points. I've done it already. So.
Oh my god! All right. So James Harden is a system.
That's.
Is a system? He's.
I want to be. I want to be angry, but that's also one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard. I missed that. That's the first time I've seen that today. He's like, "I'm not a system player. I'm a system." To be fair, he's right.
Of losing.
Here's the James Harden system. Get paid
pound
a lot of money and actually never play. Or dribble the ball.
Oh my god.
Here's what I heard today described.
Score a bunch of points and fail.
Dribble the ball for 22 seconds and then throw somebody the hand grenade. Here's what's crazy about James Harden. Like we could do 2 hours on James Harden.
Yes, we can, and we might.
There were like 2 games last year. We talked about this last year. I think this is kind of what. Actually, I think this was kind of the inspiration of this show. If we have to be honest, like the epicenter. We talked for a while, but like James Harden last year in that Celtics series played. Mm-hmm. I think personally his 2 best games as an NBA player, as far as that mattered and all this.
Right.
But then, shut it down.
Yep. I did enough.
Yeah. And so like and here's the thing. I've never rooted for James Harden. I've never been like, oh, he's going to turn the corner. Like I always knew who he was. He's defeated the NBA, or he's defeated NBA owners, the NBA union. He's defeated all that.
GMs alike.
Yeah. And yet on the basketball court, I don't know, like his legacy is like, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Like it's just he was there. How many times do you watch a James Harden game and you thought like, oh, that's the best player on the court? That mattered. A game that mattered. I don't even know. What a weird guy. But I never heard him say, I am the system. So I want to hear your thoughts. I'm sorry. I always do this. I'm the James Harden of this show.
The star.
And I need to let you.
No. You doing
because
great.
I think you're way more in tune. I mean, you're an East Coast basketball guy. Like I just think being a Knicks fan and stuff, like James Harden is probably closer to your world than he is mine.
James Harden is, as you see on the bottom, a legacy of scoring and meh.
Yeah.
That is who he is. He can score. He doesn't play defense. He quits on teams.
Yeah, it's just why did people?
He doesn't win in the playoffs. You surround him with everybody from Westbrook to Embiid, and it's the same result regardless. You had him with Durant and nothing, and now he's back with Russ. And I honestly think I think that whole trade only happened because social media said it was going to happen.
I think I agree.
Because the Clippers, in my humble opinion, didn't get better with this trade.
No, I think they got worse.
Philly got better because they got no James Harden and they got some cap relief now, and they got flexibility with now these new pieces that they won't keep. But the Clippers got James Harden.
So I got a basketball question.
Go right ahead.
So we're looking at James Harden. Here's a path of his career. He was at OKC, and I gotta be honest.
Russ.
When he got out of OKC, I didn't see James Harden at that time as even as good as he's been. I didn't see it. But they're like, oh, James Harden. Like I saw him as like a really good quote unquote six man. And he did good. So when would you pinpoint the moment that he either like was like, okay, I got this, or like I figured this out how to just like keep getting these contracts and really never needing to win a championship? Like, was it when he went to Houston? Was it when he went like Brooklyn?
No, no. It was.
I just honestly don't.
All of this is based on his Houston resume. All of this is based on his Houston resume. That's where he was an MVP. And again, I don't know if he should have stayed six man, but him being a solo artist on a team that's built to be a group is why they never won.
Oh, 100%.
When they tried to bring in new, okay, I'm gonna go.
I want to do this.
I'm reference for you.
I love
it. Remember when Bobby Brown left New Edition?
I absolutely remember it.
And they replaced him with Johnny Gill.
I do. Johnny Gill's solo album was awesome, by the way.
Fair, but I mean,
had some.
Bobby's solo albums was.
I just want to say, I had some awesome road trips to Johnny Gill's solo album. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Enjoyed it.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Anyway,
I know I got sidetracked.
So if James Harden is Ralph Tresvant,
ooh, okay,
he could not accept Russell Westbrook as Johnny Gill. He couldn't accept Joel Embiid as Johnny Gill. He couldn't accept either Kyrie or Durant as Johnny Gill. He just don't play well with others. He's Bobby Brown. He got to do it solo.
Yeah.
And when he's forced to do it as a group, he's going to the strip clubs and eating chicken wings.
I think you've literally made the best James Harden analogy that anybody's made this week. Like, I get everything you're saying, and I feel sorry for the people that don't know what we're talking about, and I don't feel sorry that you're young. I just feel sorry that you don't, like, because you're exactly right.
In that place in space to understand what those metaphors really mean. Fair.
So what I'm trying to figure out in my mind is who's the Belle Biv DeVoe in this situation. Yes, that was the real winner. That was the real winner coming out of that.
Okay.
And then who's the boys to men?
So hold on, I got you. I'm
so happy right now.
So now looking at the Clippers, and people think, there are some folk I've had this conversation with, they think James has to start.
No.
Because of his name, because of the contract, they're paying him $35 million. They're not really paying him $35 million. The team that he traded away from was paying the bulk of that money. So, but if you have a starting five, and that includes Russ, James, Paul George, and Kawhi, that sounds like Bobby Brown trying to reunite with Ralph Tresvant and Belle Biv DeVoe.
I totally
this
agree.
is the point in their careers where none of them like each other.
Yep.
But because of contracts and because of money, they decided to work with each other. This is that first what is it, homecoming tour where everything went awry. That's what this season is about to
This
be.
is exactly what this is.
Especially if they sit Russ for James Harden.
Ooh, no.
Then
Here's
this
the thing.
will be the most
Harden-
chaotic dysfunction. Oh, and then injuries will ensue. Somebody gonna catch him.
Oh,
you know what?
It's
My ankle, hip bone connected to my
Yep.
thigh bone, connected to my knee bone, connected
Harden
to my ankle bone.
Harden is literally Harden would have 6 championships if he just came off the bench. And I'm not even saying Harden
I
made
believe
the,
that to be true.
I'm not saying Harden made the wrong decision, any of that. But can you imagine a guy like James Harden came off the bench? Like instead of J.R. Smith, LeBron James had James Harden. Like LeBron's like, I'm going to sit for 5 minutes, and Harden comes in and would score 20.
Yep.
And then
Fair.
just go sit down. And then literally do his favorite
here's
thing and
the
just
thing.
go sit down.
He had that with Oklahoma City, but wasn't happy.
No, I'm agreeing. That
I
team,
mean, like, dude.
that team is weird. That'll be like an all-time like what if team because of NBA contracts and all these things. Like if Oklahoma City is just like we're going to stay together. I mean, they would have absolutely won 2 championships. Like without,
I mean, the
not
payroll
even
would have been
blinking.
tough after a minute, but give me one more year with this
But
trio.
they would have. All the players would have been better. Like Russ would have been a better player if that team stays together. And so
would have
Durant.
championships
Honestly,
that didn't come from
Durant would have
Golden
real.
State.
I'm just saying, Durant would have real championships. That's sad.
See,
I apologize,
you know
Kevin
what, though?
Durant. I
In
get
the
it.
era of LeBron, I am not knocking Durant's championships at all.
Nope.
In the era of LeBron,
I'm not
LeBron
knocking them.
quantifies.
I said that to appease our audience. I really have never held that against Kevin Durant because it's so
both
hard
of
to
us
win a
gonna get
championship.
fired by our fan bases because they're gonna be like, "How you crapping on LeBron and Durant?" Watch the season progress. Yeah, this is about to be fun.
Because well, here's the thing, and this is what I talked about. Like to go way back to the beginning of our show, this is what I talked about Indiana, and all the players that played for Bobby Knight that we don't remember. You also don't remember all these great NBA players who just stuck with a team, played a career.
Dantley's, Alex English's.
Exactly, and are gone now because they're like, oh, I just played out my career. Like Durant didn't want to be that.
With a team. Nope.
Yep. I mean, I've seen a lot of great players come and go over the years and have great careers. They did nothing wrong. I respect them, but they're not memorialized because they didn't play on a championship team. And that all goes back to I think that's really, it started in the 80s, but really the Jordan impact is when everybody's like, oh, if you don't win, and not only not win.
So. Nah, I don't think so.
When do you think the whole
that's
ring
true.
thing? But now it seems like if you don't have a LeBron
around 2005, 2006, you know, when he was first trying to win his first ones.
Yeah.
When he finally won it because they had compared him to Jordan
That's
the
fair.
whole time of his career, that's when, and Greeny even apologized for it a few months ago on his show because he felt like he was one of the guiding forces of turning the conversation away from the skilled teams and et cetera, to rings. And that whole era is all about ring chasing. I
it really has been. It really has been ring
from like 2005 and above.
Like Chris Paul's career is going to be, I won't say forgotten, but overlooked.
Yeah. So will Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony's another one. And again, there's been a lot
and these
over
are
the
great
decade.
Players. The era of like Patrick. I mean, again, this era looks at Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing differently from my era, your era. And
100%.
I don't like it because
that's a good point because like when
the
when
things that they're
Charles
using to
Barkley,
quantify don't necessarily matter.
when they were active, like I never like watched Ewing play and was like, yeah, he's no Olajuwon. Like he's no Olajuwon
Right. Oh,
just because
he's
of
mid.
rings.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
good point.
bruh. Nah. Again, the
But
conversation has changed on how we see and how we view things to a TMZ popularity, numbers, rings,
yeah,
junk. Like absolute junk.
well, I
Nobody's
think
talking about, really. Not. I don't even want to go X's and O's, but you know,
no. I think you're right though. I think what happened is and I've watched this. Like we're both old enough that we've watched the transformation of this. What's really happened is so many people, instead of watching the games, essentially you just watch Sports Center for 6 months, and then somebody
Fox
tells you, so and so won the title, and you're like, they're not as good as Jordan. But like literally just like I the other night I just turned on the TV and watched an NBA game, like the 1st of November, and it was awesome. Like that's it. Like I didn't have to like worry about like if they were going to win a championship, an MVP.
Right.
I didn't have to judge.
Like,
I literally
this
just
game
watched the
I'm
game.
watching is great.
Yeah, and that's what is gone.
Yes, I was literally about to say that's what we've gotten away from.
Oh, totally. And now it's just like I know everything I know like now about like I watch TikTok for 30 seconds a day, so now I know everything about the NBA. But like you didn't watch like we started before the show talking about how much talent's in the NBA and all these guys, and like just watch Oklahoma City play a basketball game. Like win or lose, just be like that was fun. Like they was really good. There's a lot of good players out there. That was enjoyable. And without it being like, oh, they suck or they're great or they're the worst.
Oh, who are they trying to be? They don't have any all-stars. They don't have any first-teamers.
Right.
Come on. Who do they think they are? Like, what?
Or the other side, like LeBron played one of the greatest 20-year veteran games I ever saw the 1st of November.
Bang.
Like, that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be any more than that. I don't have to care.
And the narrative is, he's playing too many minutes, and when is AD going to step up? Like,
you could just watch a game.
Why are we wasting our time talking argumentative
Just watch the game and enjoy it.
And
like, really just slow down and watch a game and enjoy it. To talk to a friend, tweet a friend and be like, are you watching this? This is really good. Like, exactly. I always tell people when they're watching football, because like I watch, like I'm more football heavy this time of year, and I'm like, if you're not enjoying a game, instead of like listening to the really like focusing on what they're saying about the game or whatever, literally just stare at the center when he snaps the ball and don't take your eyes off of him, and you're watching a completely different football game because that guy's playing his own battle. You know what I mean? Exactly. Don't worry about the quarterback. Don't worry about where the ball's going. Like when they snap the ball, just don't take your eye off the center. And you're watching a completely different sport and an aspect of the sport. Like this guy's out here killing himself to win or lose by 60 or whatever. And then you'll start, you're like I'm not trying to preach to people. Like I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just trying to give people another way to watch the game and enjoy the game and not be so pessimistic about it
and stuck on points that are irrelevant.
Yeah, just watch and enjoy and then
and do that. And it's Thursday, so there is a football game going on at this moment.
There is,
but I'm not watching it. I'm talking to you.
This has been better than watching the football game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I'm not even against watching the football game. Like I'll watch the end of it or whatever. But like I
think we're about to go and hit that right now because it's getting on that hour.
Oh, I know it goes by so fast.
It does. It goes by too quick. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be back bright and early next week doing the same thing, having great conversations and tasty beverages and such. Until next week, my brother, it is always my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your main man, Coach Fa.
I'm Professor J.
And we will see you next week. And remember, we are two cats talking. Peace.